Okay, well, let's kind of open it up now with the drafts. So let's count them out. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 time permitting drafts to go through where
Drafts.
it is, but there's so many categories to hit, and I wanted to touch them all. So 3 to 5 each is the goal. If there's one where we're starting to run low, like 3 is fine, but some of these it should be real easy. So the first draft is the best moves. So this is just best moves that you liked in general that you feel like, yep, if I were to rank my top 5 best moves of free agency, these are the ones. So Kyle, I shall give you the floor for what your choice for the best move so far would be.
I think the Danielle Hunter move was the best one so far. The Texans have like 2 legit pass rushers now.
Yeah.
Hunter, only 2 years, I think I don't know what the numbers were. I'm looking it up. 2 years, $49 million, not the worst contract to have.
No.
I think the Texans, this might be, I saw this on Twitter earlier, but this arguably is like one of the best like first 2 year, like best like first 2 years for like a new regime, like in the NFL recently.
I absolutely agree. Like what would be the comp? The comp would be like maybe the Chiefs when they got Andy Reid and they went from like the number 1 pick to, 10-win type team with Alex Smith and such, maybe, but that's already like 10 years ago. So yeah, the Texans are having an awesome just stretch of just making the right move, and they seem to be doing it right. So that's a great pick. I stayed on the D-line side of things, and I went with Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. Like I love that move, man. Like even though the Raiders I don't think are in a position to compete or anything, you know how you're an annoying team to Patrick Mahomes and to Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert? Like you get annoying by having great defensive linemen, and they got Wilkins and Max Crosby now, which is a nasty, nasty duo, which at the very least allows you to kind of enforce the Mahomes rules.
And they also draft was it Tyree Wilson, I think, last year.
Yeah.
If he develops into anything, that's a nasty D line they have.
Right. And now they finally have like all their picks. It feels like they don't always have all their picks. So now it seems like they have some room to keep making good moves. So I definitely love that one. Fat contract, but those guys are difference makers like we talked about. Another one, which low key, this one could have been considered under the radar, but I think it's just one of the best ones, and that's the Commanders getting center Tyler Biadasz, I think is how you say his name, from the Cowboys.
No idea how to pronounce his name, but yeah, I know he's a good center.
Yeah, he's a beast, and they got him on a 3-year deal. I think it's like $10 million per year, and linemen are hard to come by in today's NFL, and I think he's a really good one.
Yeah, 3-year, $30 million. This is contract.
Yep. That's not bad.
They also signed Nick Allegretti from the Chiefs, who was a starting offensive lineman for like their Super Bowl runs.
I did not see that.
I think it happened like today. I don't know.
I figured they'd invest in their O-line because they have so much money to do it. And you know how you get a lot of money is by not having a lot of good players. So you have that money for a reason. But I love the move, especially because they're going to take a QB at 2.
Yeah. Am I allowed to mention trades in this segment or no?
Oh, for sure. Best moves in general.
Okay. I think the Jerry Jeudy move was pretty good for the Browns.
Okay.
Hopefully get, Watson going with another threat on the field, maybe. Another like receiving threat.
Right.
I like the move. I always thought Jeudy is good, but he was kind of with like the worst quarterback situation possible in Denver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like I'm really hoping he kind of, Watson's not the best. I know. I think it's a good move to try to help that offense with Watson.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact that he'll have a clear number 1 by him too, I think makes it a lot better. And they still got Elijah Moore, if I'm not mistaken. And do they still have Peoples-Jones? Or no, he got traded last year.
He's on the line. Yeah, I don't know if he's still on the Lions, but yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I like that spot for him, too. That's a good move. asking price was low, 5th and 6th round pick. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think that's a definitely low risk type move that might have a good reward for the Browns. They got another weapon, which the Browns don't usually have a lot of weapons. So good for them. You get to double up here. So what do you got for your next one?
Jalen Johnson extension. Loved it. I think he's only like the 6th highest paid corner in the league, which I think is good value for someone who was an all-pro last year. So
yeah,
love bringing back, homegrown talent like that, especially when it feels like the Bears haven't had that many hits like that in the draft the last few years.
Right.
Especially having the draft with him and Kmet, same draft, both really good players. That's one thing about old GM Ryan Pace I liked is he was a really good drafter, but he has traded all of his picks all the time. Yeah, like he just traded all of his picks, but he was a really good drafter, and that was I think that's what got him like done in for in Chicago. Is like, dude, we have like 3 picks in this draft. You're done. We can't just keep doing this.
Yeah,
we can't just keep trading all of our picks every year.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, that's definitely a big hit. And every Bear fan I talk to always speaks very highly of Jalen Johnson. And I think he's good too. I just didn't know you guys all felt he was, such a top tier guy. So I'll continue to pay more attention to him. Either way, paying a top corner and you don't have to reset the market, that's a W. And you guys are another team that you have the money to spend. So keep your good players that you have hit on. So that was the right move. So good choice. So I guess I got to hit on an obvious one. Derrick Henry to the Ravens for a 2-year deal. Very interesting, but it's just a fun fit. I don't know how much better it makes them.
He just looks cool in the uniform.
Huh?
He's just going to look cool in the all black uniform.
Great. It's going to be the best looking jersey he's ever worn. And Jay's point when talking to him about it, because Jay loves Lamar especially and Henry. His point was like, this will be the most true Thunder and Lightning backfield ever because they're both on the field at the same time. And Jackson's obviously an elite level Lightning and Henry's an elite level Thunder that still has breakaway speed too. So that'll be fun. And then Zay Flowers is still emerging. I bet you they get another receiver, or I could see them getting another receiver in the draft. And they obviously got tight ends we talked about, and they always have an O-line. So I love that move too. I don't know how much better it makes them, but it makes them a lot more fun.
Traded one of their starting tackles to the Jets today, Morgan Moses.
Yep.
I was kind of confused about that move.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a cap move, but
yeah, but no, the Ravens should be, that offense should be fun to watch. Henry does he gets hit so much, injuries do have kind of piled up on him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Only a 2-year contract. I'm not sure on the numbers, but it's not crazy.
$16 million total, so 8.
Yeah, that's a good contract for one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah, one of the best of this mini era.
And I always feel like their running backs, like
suck.
Yeah, I mean Gus Edwards was when they get in the red zone, he could punch it in sometimes. So I feel like they haven't had a guy that could just like drive them downfield, like milk clock late in games,
Yeah.
That was kind of always Lamar's kind of job to like kind of scramble for those.
Yeah.
But now they have, the fucking biggest freak in the league just go downhill, just give him the ball when you need yards to just milk the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that gives them the ability to close out games. Well, my next one, I got to mention a Packer at some point, right? Xavier McKinney, man. Like that was, I love the deal and I like the fit and it was a position of need. So that's, I knew you weren't going to take them. So that's why I was able to wait till my 4th pick. But yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
I'm surprised we haven't mentioned this yet, but Kirk Cousins to the Falcons is a pretty good move.
Yep. No,
if his rehab goes well.
I think it will.
I feel like people are kind of forgetting that he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're used to not seeing him in January and February, so they just didn't equate the difference.
Yeah. Like, are we sure he's going to be healthy to start the season?
I don't know, because I know like he had mentioned, there was a quote before that like if he went on the Rodgers regimen, like when he got hurt, that would have had him ready to go by the Super Bowl. So like I remember that being mentioned at some point. So I bet you he's ready by week 1. I bet you he's one of those like we talk about it all like summer, like is he going to be ready like Brock Purdy last year, and then he's just ready.
The last move I got to mention is a Rodgers to RFK.
I love it. Best move.
That's fucking insane, dude.